for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And please turn on the notification bell. That way, every time I upload a video, you'll be the first one to see it. Let's get into it. What we're going to talk about, we talk about celebrity news, celebrity gossip, what's going on IG and Google, fair use, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged in our opinion and for entertainment purposes only. And don't forget, the Cash App is Let's Talk About It Media. And thank you for your love and support.
Don't forget to like, to comment, but be kind, and also turn on the notification bell. So let's get into it. There's a new show that's called Grown and Gospel. If you don't know, this is actually Detroit based. A lot of famous singers' children are on the show talking about their lives, what they're going through, how they're in the industry, how they either assist their parents or what the relationship is in regards to the parents. A lot of great famous people on the show. Elijah, Tasha, Bree Hammond. There's so many. You'd have to watch the show. I actually just watched it. I had saw the preview of the show, I want to say about a month ago. So I think there's only been one episode. So what we're going to talk about today is watching the show. I've actually met Fred Hammond, Bree, the son, and the wife. I'll be general. I remember back in the day when they would walk into church, either sit where they were directed or they just kind of wanted to sit in the background because maybe he had had an event and they came in maybe a little bit later. Wife was always so loving, so kind. I remember Bree walking in, so loving, so kind. I remember back in the day, Fred used to drive his motorcycle in the streets, be out and about. So it's interesting seeing the reviews and how she struggled. And she talked about on the show how her mom, once the mom got divorced from Fred Hammond, she worked at a job making $12 or $13 an hour, and how they slightly struggled. So many people were saying, well, what's really going on? Because how is it that she didn't get anything in support? And that's what everybody's question is. So Fred responds to Bree. Bree talks about how she's not in that close of a relationship with her dad, and it's kind of sad that you would think that being a PK, a preacher's kid or a famous singer's kid, you would make sure that the family was good. So many people are asking what's really going on. So it's kind of like, well, what really happened between Fred and the ex-wife? Why is it that they did not have the alleged support, or why is it that they're not close to Fred? And it's kind of interesting seeing her now in tears, grown. It's kind of interesting of what really transpired. At this age is what I remember her, literally at that age. So prayers go out to Fred, prayers go out to Bree. Also in the show, they kind of was like, okay, she's back in town. She's back in town in Detroit living. And it's basically was being said that she has a significant other. And I think she's either engaged or it's a promise ring. And she's living there by herself. But then, of course, the mom comes over, the brother comes over, and they're talking about spending quality time together. She's trying to work on her music. And then the people on the show kind of threw some shade. And I really didn't care for that because she's already going through enough trying to get in a better relationship with her dad. Somebody had said something about her clothes. Somebody had said something about her hair. We understand that reality shows do what it do, but we already see that she's hurt from the relationship and the distance that she has with her dad. She has a close relationship with her mom. She didn't really state whether her mom is stagnant in Detroit, but of course they're visiting with her. And if I'm not mistaken, Fred had moved to Texas. I don't know if it's Dallas. I don't know, but I know for a while he was attending TD Jakes after the church we were all attending. I'll just be general. Um, that was back in the day. So, well wishes. I'll let you listen in on his response, and everybody goes through something in regards to assisting their child, assisting the mother. Many are saying what really happened. It's great that he respond, and I'll let you listen in on what his response is. But Bree felt the need to try and assist her mom, and I want to say she had said in an interview that the mom and Fred got divorced when she was either 16 or 17. So she was still young, but she grew up with the father. Now, the brother allegedly was adopted. But let's listen in on what the clip said.
My mom to survive. You know, me and Dad haven't spoke as much as I would have liked. We've communicated about how if something was to happen to Dad, we'd be happy with our last combo with him. What you think? The strain on my relationship with my father has affected my career. I always wanted to follow in his footsteps, but it's almost like I would want a relationship that would involve closeness. It's just, I just want my dad. You know, I just want him. Now that's my child, and them tears are 100% real. No disputing that. But this woman right here is Mildred Hammond. And she would say sometimes to me, Freddie, sometimes people inadvertently put you in a shelf in a closet and they close the door. And they don't realize they did it. But when they ask you where you've been, just remind them, I was where you put me, in the closet, on the shelf. And when some of y'all finish talking about me and her like a dog, and if the people on the show make her look like a fool, and if she makes herself look crazy, and the reality show spits her out and puts her on the side of the ground wounded, guess who's gonna have to be there? With no lights, camera, or action. Ta-da. And in the end, we understand that reality shows can't really do anything because ratings is king and love don't pay the bills. When the smoke clears from this one, let's see if no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Words for the Hammond family. One more time. So, help my mom to survive. You know, me and Dad haven't spoken.
So, that's the clip. I had to play the music over it because I didn't want to get striked. But I definitely wanted to play what was said on his side and from Bree's side. And it's just interesting seeing how she's grown up and how there's a slight division with her and Fred. But well wishes. I will continue to review the show. I'll continue to talk about different castmates. Remember, the other gentleman was the guy that was on the show with Diddy, and he did the stare with Diddy. So I'll go through some of the pictures just so you can kind of get to know some of the castmates. So, of course, this is when she's doing the interview with the young lady, not the interview, she's talking with the other castmates, and they're talking about how they were brought up and what they dealt with. And it's kind of interesting in regards to what was transpiring, how she felt the need to assist her mom, help her mom. And people are saying that some of the people in the industry doesn't want the show to continue. But that's the biggest thing. In regards to the gospel community, the Christian community, they don't like things to be told if it's not in a good light. Now, mind you, there is a lot of famous people on the show. There was a party that Bree went to. Kiara Shear was there. Her father was there. He's definitely at a higher rank in regards to the Christian community. He was just awarded that, I want to say, 1 or 2 years ago. I want to say Kiara Shear's dad is now in the church that my dad actually was a minister at. So it's interesting how this is all coming full circle. And wishing them well. So some of the other, this is pretty much the same clip. Her talking about the dad, the son, the brother talking about the dad, them not having a close relationship. And we're not certain why. It really didn't go into full detail. And of course, this is them at an event. This is the cast members. So that way, if I forget to show all the cast members, they must have been at a red carpet. Everyone looks great. They look amazing. Not sure where this was at. And I remember it saying that Carlos King was actually there. So I don't know if they had an event, whether it was here in Detroit or whether it was somewhere else. That was the guy with the blonde hair, was the guy that was on the show, and he had sung for Diddy. He did extremely well. But I guess some comment was made and he kind of stared at Diddy. So that was a while ago. Well known in regards to his singing, and they sing different things. So he actually goes on to it didn't show it. He actually went on the radio station, 97.9 WJLB. Huh, so you know I know. Of course, they actually, and that's so funny. That's hilarious. I was having a taste for Coney Island, and in the scene, 10 minutes later, they have a scene at Coney Island in Detroit. So if you know, you know. Riverwalk, downtown, casinos, right across from Canada. So, what wishes? Let me know in the comments how you feel about the show. Will you be watching the show? The cast seem to get along really well, and I'm sure everybody's going to have their moments, what they're going to talk about in regards to their career, and hopefully there'll be more things forthcoming in Detroit. And if there's something that I can do, or if there's an event, maybe I'll pop up at the event. But well wishes. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know. Will you be watching Grown and Gospel? Grown and Gospel. Everyone's based from Detroit, in Detroit. And they're also, who else? Um, who else? There's another one. Um, the sisters. I'm trying to think of the sisters. The Gospel Sisters. I'm trying to think of who else they had mentioned. Da, 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 da. And they pretty much a lot of people made an appearance. It's not posting it. I'm trying to think of the Gospel Sisters. I actually met the one of the gospel ladies at one of my friends' barber shop. She was really nice, smiled at us. Um, I'll report on that. I'm sure there's going to be more things that's going to come up. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. Praying for all the people on the show. We get it. As you grow up, some think you should be able to feel or fulfill the same things that your parents have done, but sometimes they have to grind out and do things on their own, learn from their own. And woe wishes to Bree. I hope they all rally around her, support her, give her the assistance that she needs. One of her friends said, "You literally have to make songs all the time." He even said, every day, every other day, you have to be in it to win it. So I like her friendship with many people on the cast. It seems towards the end is when they all kind of met up and they were like, "Oh, that's Fred Hammond's daughter. Oh, she looks like Fred." So prayers go out to her. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. I will review the next one. And if I'm not mistaken, the next one comes out on Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe.